Welcome back, everyone, to an exciting episode of Kicking It with Gab and Chooch.
I'm Gab.
I am Chooch.
This week we are going to be going over a few things. Little sneak peek. First segment, like always, we give away our rewards. Then we're going to talk about the Manchester Derby. After that, we'll take a look at recap the league, recap the matches. Finally, to end it off, we're going to talk about the Ballon d'Or, take a look at the winners, and that's it. That's going to be the episode. All right, let's jump into it. Chooch's banger of the week.
Banger of the week. Honestly, nobody deserved it.
No. You're just upset. It's rightfully so.
I feel like there wasn't too many bangers in the Premier League, so I'm going to go outside Premier League. Jude Bellingham.
Doesn't count.
Come on, Jude Bellingham.
Doesn't count. We're talking
Buddy,
Premier
that's a
League.
banger.
Nketiah's goal to score the hat trick was definitely a banger.
Buddy,
That was a banger.
I'm going to give it to Jude Bellingham. Because he's an Englishman.
Because
he's an Englishman.
First hat trick of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Star Boy. I've been talking him up. Ivan knows.
Are we thinking the same guy?
Nketiah. Bro, hat trick? I've been talking him up like crazy.
Nah, you're not.
I've been talking him up like crazy. You're capping, bro. You're capping.
You're not.
I have been talking him up, saying that he needs to play more, but he was disappointing. He scored in the first couple games, and then he got disappointing a little bit. But he's back to form with the hat trick for sure. And then, of course, Phil Foden played amazing this week. Dude, he's so good. So good. Absolutely.
Fair enough. I thought you were going to give it to your boy, Huang Chan. Played another great game. Yeah. Even though he's not a young lad.
He's like 27.
But he had a really good week. Played really well in that game, especially against Newcastle.
Great goal, too. That was an all-around great goal by Wolves. For sure. But yeah, he capped it off nicely. That was a great game for sure. Let's move in to the biggest game of the week. The Manchester Derby. The Manchester Derby. All of a sudden, Chooch wants to talk La Liga, bro. Come on. Manchester Derby, 3-0. Manchester City dominated. Kind of an embarrassment to Manchester United, for sure. The night was dedicated to Sir Bobby, and that's how they went out. I've been saying it for episodes and episodes and episodes. You can't tell what Manchester United are trying to do. You really can't.
Especially with that team that went out there. It was god-awful.
Very questionable decisions.
I will give credit to Onana. I think he played really well despite the scoreline. Even though it's 3-0, he kept it from easily being 6-7-0. He made a lot of good saves.
Holland could have had a hat trick if not for him, for sure.
Yeah, he had that one right on the goal line clearance. I think the third goal he saved the initial shot and the rebound went in. It's just unlucky. It was just that type of day for him. But honestly, I think he played really good despite the scoreline. Even though I've been bashing him nonstop, I will give him credit because I feel like he played really good.
Yeah, I thought he did good. Holland is only a few weeks away from the De Bruyne reunion. He's starting to pick up for sure. Foden looked insane again. I thought Grealish looked good.
You called that front three. You called it.
Dude, I called the whole lineup. Okay, wait. No, the only one I didn't put in, I think I said that I would start Akanji, but if I didn't start Akanji, John Stones would be in there. But besides that, I called the whole lineup with Bernardo Silva. I said Bernardo Silva. And then you were like, I remember. We can watch the episode because it was recorded. But anyway, I already knew that was the team that I would want to be out there. I'm glad that, we absolutely dominated them. I'm glad we got the win. I'm glad we look so good. I'm gonna talk about something later about that, but still. Anyways, Manchester United. It's time to sack them. It's time. I said it was time 6 weeks ago. It's just you don't know what they're trying to do. They try to play out. They bought Onana. Onana is a very good play out the back keeper. He's one of the best, I think. And it's like sometimes they try to play that way. Sometimes they don't. You can't tell what they're trying to do. Just get a coach that knows what they're trying to do. Get one that knows what they're trying to do. Yes, the next coach is gonna have you're gonna have to give them 2 years, I'd say, at least. Because the first year is gonna be dealing with all Ten Hag signings. Like who are you really gonna play? Who you want to keep. Maybe you want to give them a few weeks, to see who's gonna fit your system, who's gonna be the guy that, kind of takes over. When you have a new coach, it's kind of a chance for some players to start over. Like, I guarantee you they get another coach, Jadon Sancho would stay. He would probably be playing every week. But for sure, and at times like this, when you're down so low, the decision like Jadon Sancho, like, what are we doing? Like, let the guy play, because everything you have starting going on the field right now is basically worthless right now.
Yeah, they don't look like they have a clue what's going on. I mean, once again, you can argue the injuries, but that defense, you put
He
out
had
defense.
Varane available.
Yeah, he put out a defense of Johnny Evans and Maguire. Buddy.
Okay, I would. Maguire's in no matter what. He's in. His record speaks for itself. But you had Varane available. Didn't even play a minute. Didn't even play a minute.
And then he's at half, he brings on Mason Mount like this guy's gonna fucking change the game.
For
Yeah,
reals, bro.
right.
And he brought on Anthony, who did absolutely nothing
He
except
punched
prove the
Doku.
rumors true.
He
All he
punched
did
him.
was prove the allegations to be correct. That's all he did.
He punched him.
He punched Doku, slapped his hand down.
He said,
It looked
get
like
your
with a
dirty hands
closed
on me.
fist too. It looked with a closed fist. And then, but man, I mean, if I were Doku, I would have had some choice words for him for sure right there. I'm like, don't you be touching me. I'm not your girlfriend, mate. Like, sheesh.
Yo, what?
Honestly, bro, I mean, the crazy disrespect. I mean, he full on kicked Jeremy Doku. And
Oh,
then the
dude,
second
Doku's running
Doku's like, we're
circles with
not
him.
doing that.
He's
Yeah, the
running
second he's like, we're not
circles.
doing that, he decides to punch his hand down.
Yeah.
Like, come on, what are we doing? Doesn't make sense. But I guess, I mean, that's what's to expect from Anthony these days. He didn't even start, first of all. Yeah, Sancho could play much better. Even if Sancho's not Sancho wasn't doing great. But I mean, man, he wasn't just grabbing the ball and passing it back to whoever's behind him every single time. I thought Garnacho came in and did better than what
Definitely.
they've got right now. I think you're gonna have to start him next week. You have nothing. Might as well throw him out there, let him grow. He could still be the future of the club for sure. Rashford, I mean, just as good, but lately he's a bit selfish in the final third, and I feel like it cost them a couple goals, maybe one goal a week, but that's huge for them, and their goal differential is very, very small. Wolverhampton have a better goal differential. Chelsea have a better goal differential. Fulham, I mean, all these lower level teams in the table right now have a better goal differential than them. They just find a way to get those 1-0 wins lately. But yeah, I mean, Manchester United, I mean, stay down as long as you like. It's fine by me, but it's kind of an embarrassment to a club with so much history, to be honest. Manchester's definitely blue.
Yeah, that was just gonna be my question. I was gonna say, what color
Manchester's
is
blue.
Manchester?
It's blue.
Oh, buddy, you're gonna rile somebody up.
Let's
You're gonna
go. I
rile
know.
somebody up.
I know.
But yeah, it was a joke of a game. It was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hoyland
They
has more penalties conceded than goals scored in the Prem.
and to be fair, okay, I was listening to the commentators during the game, and they're like, how's that a foul? How's that a foul? Blah blah blah. It's a foul. It should be called every single game. It's not always called, I understand. But those people that are saying that it was rigged for Man City, I mean, there wasn't a penalty at Manchester United for City in 31 years. If we're talking about rigged, I mean, that's got to be rigged, right? 31 years without a pen. Come on. One
Barchester
pen?
United. They used to be called Barchester United.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, those people, like, it's always one way, with certain people, especially on like Twitter and stuff. But um, yeah, I mean, there's nothing to back up there, and I understand, where the commentators come from. Where if they're gonna call that in the City game, they should be calling it in every single game. But I mean, like, unfortunately, it doesn't. I thought the one they called later on, or they didn't call later on, the VAR check for City. I thought actually that one was a pen, and I thought the first one shouldn't have been a pen because Rodri didn't really have a chance in the first one. The second one, the player that was fouled did have a chance at touching the ball, but I mean, VAR is VAR. It's always a foul's a foul, inside or outside the box. Should always be called. Fortunately, it doesn't work that way. But I mean, I think the way they did the World Cup, VAR and everything. I mean, obviously AI going in that direction, they're not going to make mistakes. AI is not going to make mistakes. Definitely human error, but I think it's a bit, just the referee federation for Premier League has been established for so long. It's going to be like impossible to get that changed in the Premier League.
Definitely a lot of English bias.
100%. Um, let's take a look at the rest of the games. Let's go Friday's game, Tottenham Crystal Palace. Tottenham looked good again. They won 2-1, but Palace managed to get one. It's a pretty good goal too, a little half volley. But I mean, Tottenham, they're scraping by. Good teams get wins. They bullied some teams, but I thought this game was dominated by Spurs, but still very narrow victory. But sometimes that's football. Yeah, what do you think about Heung-min Son?
Heung-min Son is legit, buddy. Give that man a striker to play alongside him, and he's set. I'm not saying he
Who?
wasn't. I mean, Tony.
Tony? You think
Put
Tony's
Tony
there?
in that team, and dude, they're gonna look legit. Um, and it's not like obviously when he had a proper striker in Harry Kane, they were killing it. They were always
I
scoring all the
think
goals, assisting each other.
I think if Harry Kane stood, adding James Madison would have been the piece. I think that would have been the piece.
Yeah, because if you look at it, they haven't had a creative midfield since like Luka Modric, buddy. It's
Yeah,
been a
well, that's what
minute.
I've been saying. They're
Yeah,
like a
and
few
James
pieces
Madison.
away. And James Madison's been huge.
Yeah, definitely. It
Yeah,
is
that's
a bit ridiculous how good Spurs are playing. They got
right.
this coach
It won't
that,
last.
yeah, hopefully this form does not last. All good things must come to an end.
All London derbies too are dangerous. No matter who they're playing in London, London derbies are dangerous.
And London is.
London is blue. All right, let's move on to the Bournemouth Burnley game. Bournemouth get the win 2-1. If Burnley can't beat Bournemouth, yeah, there's not much hope for them.
No, I'm sorry, Vincent Company. I think your time is up, buddy.
No, not yet.
Buddy,
They have so many youngsters now. I think
but
they'll
they're
get
not.
one before
There's no
year.
results happening.
Okay,
Nothing.
but there's no results from a lot of teams happening. That doesn't mean they're all going to sack their coach.
Well, Man United, you're saying sack Ten Hag,
Well, yeah,
but you don't want to
because
sack
Man United
Vincent
aren't
Company.
Burnley. Man United aren't Burnley.
Yeah, but you have to realize as well that
If Vincent,
these teams that get promoted to the Premier League get a fuck ton of money.
I
They get a
understand,
lot of money that they can
and
easily
they
spend.
really bought. They haven't bought anyone really.
And whose fault is that?
That's that's from top to bottom. That's not strictly the gaffer's fault.
But at the end of the day, they're gonna look at who the gaffer is and base everything off that.
Yeah, buddy, but see, they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't be there without him. So, in my opinion, he's got to stay. Sheffield United, Arsenal, 5-0. Nketiah hat trick.
Yep.
He's a dog. Sheffield, hopeless still. Hopeless still. They got to find a way to get something. This next one. Chelsea versus Brentford.
We lost. That's it. Let's go on to the next team.
No.
Let's go. Let's go.
I got some stuff to say. They dominated the game. How did they lose?
Dude, I'm telling you.
Dude,
Without Enzo in the team, we don't look as good.
No, you guys did look as good. To me, the train's still rolling.
The only positive I saw that whole game was Cole Palmer. Everything else was.
But you guys had a lot of chances. Yeah,
thanks to Cole Palmer.
Okay, I understand, but I'm just saying. I think the train's still rolling. I think it happens. Like, City dropped a couple games. Arsenal may eventually drop a couple games. Last season, Arsenal, they should have had it in the bag. Dropped a couple games to some shit teams. And, that's just where it falls. Liverpool sometimes drops games against shit teams. But I think I saw enough positives from Chelsea to stay on what they're doing. What they're doing is good. The lineup changed, last minute. I mean, could have just threw a little off whack, but I still thought they played really good. Unfortunate, should have been 1-0. The second goal, just because the keeper was all the way up, but
nail in the coffin, buddy.
Yeah, it definitely hurt at the time. Yeah, but I think it's still positive. They, Chelsea could have easily had 4 goals, but unfortunately not. But they'll come back. They'll be back next couple weeks. They're gonna knock off a big club.
Because I woke up super early for that game. Saw the first half, and I was like, okay, we look good. Cole Palmer had created a lot of chances, unlucky, and so I had to rewatch the second half after the game had happened, and Nico Jackson did not look very good that game. He was real quiet, and we had no attacking subs.
Just come back from injury, mate, or from suspension, and he hasn't been picked lately either. Sometimes you just need a player to find their legs. I think that's Nico Jackson.
No, but it's going. I don't want to use excuse for injuries, but we only had one attacking player on the bench, and that was an 18-year-old Brazilian, David Washington, who we got from, I think, Santos, and we haven't really seen much of him, and just kind of throw him out there. It's kind of unlucky the way it just happened. But hopefully we move on, we bounce back. We got a cup game, and then Tottenham. That's Tottenham, the game to bounce back.
You guys are gonna beat Tottenham. I'm calling it.
That's the game to bounce back, buddy.
Yeah. No, I think, yeah. I mean, everything he said, I think was right. I think Nico Jackson just needs time. He's still young. Going from playing in La Liga, not such a big team, to a bigger team in the Premier League. I mean, definitely challenging. But I think he just sticks with it. He'll be fine. Let's move on to Liverpool Forest. Forest may be in danger here. They may be in danger of getting to that relegation point. Hudson-Odoi's out.
They got Elanga back.
It looks good, but it looks a lot worse without Hudson-Odoi. Like, they don't. Sangare came, he's been a beast in the midfield. I think he's been a real beast.
He was linked to Liverpool.
Yeah,
Before they got Endo, Sangari he was linked there. He was going to be the CDM guy, but freaking
yeah.
Nottingham Forest came and got him.
I think it's just I don't know. I think they definitely Hudson Odoi was huge. He's a playmaker. He's a playmaker. He's not. I mean, I know he had that amazing goal, but ever since he's been making great plays, being in the right spot for the crosses, um, making the cross. But yeah, without him, it's kind of dangerous territory. They're getting closer to the bottom. Liverpool looks stellar once again.
Yeah,
Um,
you know,
don't
we're
see
finally
Liverpool
seeing
stop
we're finally seeing some more goals from Mo Salah, and
it.
before when the season first started, we're like, this guy's gonna be a playmaker this season. Like that's what he's gonna do, but nah, he said, "Watch this," and started scoring goal after goal, and that's what you want to see, especially a player of his quality. He's banging them in week week out.
Yeah. Brighton, Fulham, draw. Disappointment from Brighton for sure. Um, they should be winning these games. Let's see, score. Evan Ferguson again.
Yeah, he scored again. Finally,
First game back.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's his first game back.
yeah.
Uh,
He picked up an injury.
One man of the match. Uh, Good positives coming from Brighton still. They're still really young, so I mean, these 1-1s, they're not too bad. They're not like a Chelsea 1-1 where you just dominated Arsenal and then lose to Brentford. But Fulham's all right. You know, Fulham's got talent. Should have been a red. They probably should have won because the Paulinho elbows should have been a red.
Should have
Shouldn't even
been
been on the field to score
get
that
that ball,
goal.
get that ball.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Brighton's played well, and they got caught up in that playing out the back. But I mean, so far for them, it's better. You know, they've been doing lot better job scoring more goals than giving them up. In those instances where you make a slight mistake, they're always willing to risk it. But it caught up with them eventually. It always would, but still. Um, Villa, Luton, Villa
Another
3-1.
another great performance from Villa.
Musa Diaby, excellent. Surprisingly, no Ollie Watkins on the score sheet. We'll take it.
Yeah, but still, I feel like Ollie Watkins has been really good, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he's not scoring, he's a lot. He's involved a lot in the attack, which I like seeing.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw a lot in the beginning of the season. He wasn't scoring goals, but he was constantly helping the build up the attack, especially on those counters where they're so deadly from.
Yeah. And finally, the disappointment of the week. West Ham lose to Everton. They've been in very, very poor form, both
Yeah,
teams.
it's
But Everton to Everton? Everton are awful.
it's your boy Jared Bowen needs some help.
I mean, that team's been struggling, like I said, in the final third. I mean, it's like Lucas Paqueta has enough to do it, either getting the ball back and making the right pass, but obviously he's not there to finish, and he can't always play the ball to Jared Bowen. I mean, Jared Bowen has come and help sometimes, especially if Lucas Paqueta's playing on the right side or the left side. He always jogs back and forth too. So I'm not really sure. I mean, where this team could go up. I think they definitely need to have Kudus starting every game. Having him on the bench in some of these games, I don't get it. I mean, like, why do you go get a signing like this? Same with, like, how we were talking about Yori Telemans a few weeks ago. Like, you have a star player. I mean, you think you sign them to be a star player, and then you just let them sit on the bench and play a few minutes every game. Don't see that working out for West Ham with with Kudus, but I think they just need a little bit of time. Yeah, I mean, that's probably my surprise shocker for West Ham for sure. I've also been quite surprised. We actually forgot to talk about Wolves and Newcastle. We mentioned
That
it a bit
that was a
earlier,
good
but
game. It was a really good game. Like I said,
yeah,
you know,
really good game. Rainy, super rainy, as
Poland.
most of these games, but Huang, Chan,
Uh,
Beast, Newcastle come find a way to get the draw. They've been, I mean, ever since we praised them, they've been shaky.
yeah, especially you're coming off that game against PSG, and now you're looking a little dodgy. Um, and then like I said, they've lost Isak. Callum Wilson stepped up fine. He's banged them right in.
As
But
he
yeah,
does always.
that's gonna hurt. Losing him because have they said how long he's gonna be out?
I don't think so.
I
I
don't think
think
there's
they're evaluating him still day to day
yeah.
basis.
But from what it seems like is he might be out for a while.
um, he
Yeah.
hasn't quite seemed to be the guy though yet. Like
Uh.
they signed him to be the guy. I've been saying this from the beginning. Newcastle need the guy to go over the top. Now they need another midfielder again.
Yeah. But if you look at Newcastle's bench, who do you look on there and say this guy's gonna make a difference when you bring him off the bench? There's no one.
Not
They
even
only made
Lewis
they
Hall.
made one sub that game, and it was Joe Willock. He's a decent player, but he's not a game changer. They don't have a game changer on the sub,
Right.
which it's. I think reality's gonna come back and get them. They lost Tonali, lost Isak, and they don't have a star player. You know, Lewis Hall is really good, Chelsea player. Um, but I don't think he's gonna do anything like that right away to make a
Still too
difference.
young.
He's
Still
too
too
young.
young.
He's a center mid that played left back, left wing back, and I don't see him just being thrown into that team and making a difference right away. I just don't see it.
Connor Gallagher would make Newcastle.
Nah, buddy, we can't afford to lose Conor Gallagher.
I know. I'm just saying, like, if I'm a Newcastle, and I'm like, who do I need to sign? It's Connor.
Yeah, well, he was linked to them in the summer. I thought he was going to leave to Newcastle.
Yeah. If I'm Newcastle, who would I go get? I feel like I would want like a Malin from Dortmund or man, let me think who else. I'd want someone young for sure. Maybe nah, I can't see a Matthias. I can't see Matthias Tell leaving. Um, man, it's tough. I'm trying to think of a young striker, maybe winger. Like I said, Malin for sure. Maybe even a Robbery from Ajax.
Yeah, if you can poach off, one of Ajax's players, because nothing is looking good for them right now.
That the team's gonna disband here pretty soon. I think
Yeah.
those players are gonna move in January. I would want to, teams going down that bad. But yeah, like I said, I like Robbery. How do you say his name? Bergwijn.
Bergwijn,
Bergwijn. Bergwijn.
he played in the Prem. He played at Tottenham.
He can go
Then,
back.
he's Premier League proven. It would make a little bit of sense.
Chucky Lozano has been playing so well too. I mean, that'd be someone that would be interesting for like one of these teams in the middle of the table trying to move up, like a super sub.
I don't know.
He
He
just scored a hat trick.
he left Napoli to go back to PSV where he played a lot. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, enough money will make you go anywhere, right?
Not with Mexican players, buddy. The Mexican Federation owns them.
Yeah,
Buddy,
pretty good.
why do you think a lot of them stay in playing Liga MX?
Yeah, you know who's been really good? Edson Alvarez has been really good.
Yeah, he's he was I knew he was a Premier League ready player as soon as he started playing for Ajax. I followed him for when he first started his career with America. He's a really good player. He's fitting into the Prem. He fits the physicality perfectly. He's not afraid of throwing in an extra challenge, a hard one. He will get a red card soon enough, buddy. He is a dog.
You know who's been playing real shit is Raul Jimenez. Bro hasn't scored a goal in like since last November.
He hasn't been the same since the injury, buddy.
No.
I honestly, when that injury happened, I thought he should have retired then and there. Like
Yeah.
if you see him play, like sometimes he's afraid to even head the ball. Like it's unreal.
Well, you know the gear that he wears on his head, it always makes me wonder, like what is that really gonna do for him, you know?
Not
Like
much. Maybe a little
right.
cushion.
Right, but okay, like, he wears it on the side, like right here.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's that got to do with the other side of his head?
Well,
You
that's
know?
the side of the head where it happened.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is if he's afraid, you know, it's maybe not consciously, it could be like subconscious, like he feels ready, he feels fine,
Yeah,
but just going through an injury like that, I mean, you can't help but subconsciously think about it
definitely.
and be afraid of it. It's just human nature, especially if it's even on the other side. I mean, he's gonna think about it, even more every time that ball's in the air. um, just kind of takes away from like his ability to score, his ability to be aggressive, his ability to win balls back, his ability to get physical in the box, everything. But yeah, I mean they've been starting him every game, still hasn't done anything much. Um, I think Fulham are too. I mean they could get someone halfway decent to replace him. Um, I like Lyle Foster from Burnley. He's been good. He's proven goal scorer. I mean, if you put any striker up there, eventually they're going to score some goals. But I think Lyle Foster, he's pretty good. I'd like to see him move from Burnley to maybe like a Forest, or I mean, Forest have decent
They
strikers
have
too that have
a
been in
lot of
there, but
players though.
yeah, they have Christian Wood. I forgot that other
I
guy's name.
think Christian was injured. They
Uh,
have that Nigerian Awonji or
yeah,
something like that. He looks pretty good.
he's pretty good too.
Um, there's a lot of players that I can see playing in the Prem. Boniface or something like that.
Victor
Play,
Boniface.
yeah, he looks really good. Yeah, there's a lot of players still waiting to make that Premier League jump, and hopefully, not hopefully, I think we are going to see it quite a bit in this transfer window. Just seeing all the teams kind of evaluate themselves, what they need. They're obviously going to take talent from elsewhere.
Musiala is going to be on the move.
Why? That's his team, buddy. He is the future leader of that team.
Yeah, I think. Hold on, give me a second. No, yeah, I think we'll see for sure Musiala move. Maybe not in January, obviously, but in the summer, I think. I think we'll see a few from the Saudi league jump back,
You
because
think
I've
so?
already been seeing the Ruben Neves rumors about going to Newcastle. And I think I'm sure you've seen the reports of like the very, very low attendance in a lot of these games that aren't like big fixtures, like Ronaldo's team, Al Nassr, Benzema's team, Al Ittihad. The other clubs that are playing, and Neves and Neymar are in one of the lower ones, I guess you could say. Obviously, Neymar's injured now, but I mean, they're not getting very much attendance, which I'm sure at some point has to impact the players. Like, where are you going to get the revenue? I mean, I know they got money, but still, maybe the smaller guys are feeling it. But either way, I think some of the guys, you go for the money, but it just doesn't feel the same. I'm sure. So I'm
Yeah.
sure some of these guys will jump back.
Um, I don't know. We saw it not last year. We saw it a couple years ago with China. When they spend all their money on players, big players. We saw Oscar leaving Chelsea at such a young age and a peak in his career.
Never made
But
it.
the thing that's different is the Saudi league is completely sold on the project. What China did is that they taxed the clubs even higher if they signed a player that was not from China. So that's why a lot of teams like got scared and stopped buying these players because all that money would get taxed. But the Saudi league there and the Saudi government, they are fully funding it. Obviously that league's not going to take off right away, especially they have the money, and I think they're going to put that money to good use, and they're going to try to put out a good league.
I think potentially it could be another MLS here. It's kind of already going towards that. They've got some more stars. But to me, the MLS is like, where a lot of European legends go to retire. And I think, you know, the Saudi could be the other side to that.
Mm-hmm.
MLS doesn't always pay too much money to these guys, but it's, more about, living the American lifestyle, you know, um,
The
maybe
Saudi
even
lifestyle
like
too,
brand
buddy.
exposure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure it's different, but you know, I don't know. I really don't know because we've never experienced Saudi, but like, I mean, or I mean, I guess I'm sure you could assume, or anyone listening could assume, the American dream, blah blah blah. Especially you got money, you come to America, how amazing it could be.
Mm-hmm.
All these things. I'm sure it's very similar in Saudi, but you know, I mean, Americans are, starting to like football a lot more. It's a great opportunity, and I think Saudi, you're starting to see, are just as involved now. They're basically trying to buy their way
Yeah.
into the love of soccer, but it's not about that for everyone. They want the passion. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
then one thing that it did attract some of the players is the Muslim players. They want to be you know
absolutely.
in a place like that where they can practice their religion freely and not looked a certain way. And N'Golo Kante, Benzema, players like that. They
Yeah, I think that was huge for Benzema
that
because he
yeah
he could have stayed. He could have stayed at Madrid. He could
yeah
play at any top club. I think
definitely
it's just, yeah, the money plus your freedom. I mean,
yeah.
your religious freedom. Yeah, I mean, you see it like in the NBA. Like, imagine if one of those type of guys came to play in the MLS. Like, you see already in the NBA with like Kyrie Irving, Jalen Brown. Like, these guys like are
Every
fasting. Everybody's making jokes about him on Twitter. Like, what
everything
are
they do
these
is
idiots
scrutinized a little
doing?
bit
I'm like,
more.
yeah, yeah. It's like they're just judged a bit more. So I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, to go play somewhere or and even like, yeah, even anything. Like, man, I mean, you see the way Vinny's being treated right now in Spain. I mean, it's awful. I'm sure if he went to play in Brazil, you know, wouldn't be anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot different. Definitely a big opportunity for those guys because they're actually getting paid, what their value is, and getting to play, with freedom. Um, let's take a look at the table. We're gonna go first. Tottenham with 26 points, 13 goal differential. Very close, very, very close. Top three, top four. Well, top three mainly because it's a 2 point difference. You got 24 Arsenal, 24 City, 15 goal differential each of those. City are starting to look back what they were looked like. Arsenal, I thought, were a bit sluggish, a bit slow, but this 5-0 win, I mean, they may be back firing. Liverpool look great right now too.
Mm-hmm.
Villa's looking excellent right now too. Man, Brighton look a bit down, but Newcastle's right there, ready to challenge again. Villa's definitely looking for that Champions League spot. They're definitely looking for it. Brighton's looking for it. They're going to be hunting heavy. If Man United can somehow still stay in the race throughout the whole year, I mean, I know they're going to be gunning for 1 through 4 for sure as well.
Yeah, they're still there. They're still very much alive.
Yeah, and then I don't know. After last week or after this week, we'll see. After these next 2 weeks, we'll see what we'll talk about Chelsea again. We'll get the placement prediction in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because they got Tottenham and then City and then Liverpool. But then
I don't know.
maybe it's not. No, it's not Liverpool. It's not Liverpool. I don't know, but I know after those games they have a fairly easy schedule. They're going to play Luton. They're going to play, I think, Brentford again. They're going to play uh, Burnley again.
Give
So
us those easy dubs, please.
yeah, because they're going to put you through the ringer first, buddy. They're going to put you through the
Yeah,
ringer.
definitely. But yeah, after this winter comes, then I'll start judging them a little bit more.
Well, let's not forget, 2 episodes ago you said top 4.
I still believe. I
All
want
right,
that Champions
yeah.
League spot.
Well, we'll see. Yeah,
We
but I
deserve
don't think so.
Champions League. Don't hit the same. Don't hit the same without Chelsea.
Oh gosh, I don't know about that. Let's move on. Let's move on. Golden Boot race.
My
What are we
prediction is
talking
spot
about?
on. My predictions were spot on.
What are we still talking about?
My top
Erling
three.
Haaland, 11. Yeah, I think you did predict those top 3.
Yep.
But you predicted Son to finish first, I think. Pretty
He
sure
still
that's
could do
what
it.
you said. Anyway, yeah, he still could. Erling Haaland with 11. Of course, absolute dog. Mo Salah with 8. Heung-min Son with 8. Callum Wilson with 7. Surprisingly, because he's been in there. He's been coming in, subbing, scoring those goals. But now he's starting. And they got no one to replace him. They got no one to go in there besides Joelinton. And Joelinton usually starting. But they got no one to go in and come in and sub him off. So, I mean, he's going to get most of the playing time. Unless, some sort of injury. And then Joelinton plays striker. Jared Bowen's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Wang Hee-chan's still there. Isak's still there. He's gonna be out for a while. But Mbayo from Brentford at 6. Evan Ferguson's back after his 4 have been sitting for
a while after that hat
8
trick.
weeks. 8 weeks, yeah. Dude had a hat trick, fell off for like 6 weeks.
He was
And
injured.
then, well, that's what I mean. Like, he fell off the face of the earth for 6 weeks and still is in the top 5 or top 10. Or it's 9 because of all the ties. And Keita jumped up there with the hat trick.
Mm-hmm.
Assist leader Pedro Neto, who got injured. I don't know. I had to look up what happened. It looked like he pulled his hamstring, but I have to look up how long out he is going to be. Carrion Trippier at 6, James Madison at 5, Ollie Watkins at 5, and then Mo Salah at 4, Vladimir Kufal at 4, Alvarez 3, Richarlison 3, Diaby 3, Alonga 3. But I think the assists have been up there. Glad to see my guy Pedro Neto. Dude's got to move. He's got to move in January. I think it's the perfect time. I think it'd be the perfect time for
Newcastle
Wolves.
calls, you go.
Honestly, yeah. I think it's just because he's playing so good right now. Like, he looks like he belongs somewhere. Like, I thought Mateus Nunes looked really good. I thought Pedro Neto looked really good. I thought definitely Pedro Neto would be the better one. For sure. I said Hwang Hee-chan, but I thought these 2 guys looked better. Mateus Nunes got the buy from Man City. Neto hopefully gets the buy from somewhere. I think a Newcastle could be really good. He's been playing insane. He just looks so good playing football. He's playing football the right way. Um, I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who would take him. I don't know. I think all the top clubs that need something already have it. Like Kulevetsky. I don't think Tottenham would want him. Unless maybe they could want him and play him on the left. He
Maybe.
plays on the right majorly, but I mean I could see it because Richarlison's been Newcastle for sure, though. I'd like to see that. Huang Hee-chan's probably going to stay. He's already been there a little bit. Um, he's a bit older anyways. I mean, Wolves need something to not get relegated,
True.
but they've been playing surprisingly well. I thought, with all the turnover they had, a new coach, everything, like, I thought they were going to get relegated or close to relegation, but they're actually playing really, really well.
Yeah. Definitely playing good. They're, especially when they lost Jimenez, there's a lot of question of who's gonna be, leading them up top. But they look perfectly fine without him. Honestly thought they were gonna, struggle a bit because Raul Jimenez isn't always, that goal scorer, but he creates a lot of chances. He reminds me a lot of like Harry Kane. Dropping down, going for the ball, making that play, making that pass.
Absolutely. He's been really good. Um, let's move on to the Ballon d'Or results. We're gonna come out with an episode this Friday also. Talk about next week's games. So that's why this episode's a bit shorter. Ballon d'Or results. We're gonna start from the bottom. We're not gonna go because we want to talk a little bit about the bigger ones. We'll go the Copa Trophy. Jude Bellingham, rightfully deserved. Um, he should be top 4 in the Ballon d'Or running this next coming one. I say top 4 right now.
If he keeps
But I
this up,
mean, he's
definitely.
still doing really good. I think he could win it. I think he's still a bit young for them to just say right off the bat that it should be him. But he's not giving us a reason to keep him there. So next, Ballon d'Or Feminine, Atiana Bonmati. I saw her play in the Women's World Cup. Played really well. Don't watch too much women's soccer though. Socrates award. Vinny won it. All the races and battles he's been going through. It's I know it's a humanitarian award and like
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's supposed to be what you're doing. And Vinny does do stuff. A lot of football players do stuff, for the community. But I think it's mainly, his what he's going through and what he's trying to fight against racism in football. That's the biggest thing I think that stood apart because every week that he sees it, every week that he goes through it, he's not shying away from it. He's kind of trying to bring it to the light. And
Definitely.
I think that that's not something necessarily that players do in sports. I think they could do it a lot more. Like when you see incidents like in NBA, like Russell Westbrook had an incident in Utah, but I mean, it's kind of like for that week thing. Vinny does it week in, week out. Just trying to help change. Um, Club of the Year, Manchester City again.
No surprise.
Treble, no surprise there. Women's Club of the Year, Barcelona. Another treble, no surprise there. Yashin Trophy, Emi Martinez for
Makes
his
sense.
masterful performance in the World Cup.
Saved them. Saved
Saved
Messi.
Argentina, saved Messi. Messi did it, but this team, this
He,
club,
sa- he saved that goal.
this sport is a
Colomwani.
team sport. Yeah, without Emi Martinez, France would have won. Uh, and just as much you could say without Messi, I mean Argentina wouldn't have won, but still, I mean Emi Martinez is just as big a part of that as Lionel Messi.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean Jared Muller trophy, Erling Haaland, basically the runner-up trophy.
That's a
Well, I
striker's
mean,
trophy.
I mean, it's a strike. Yeah, it's a striker's trophy, but still, they gave it to him for the runner-up. It's based purely on stats. He won it. Ballon d'Or obviously went to Lionel Messi. I thought. I mean, I understand. Okay, world's greatest sport, the greatest player of the sport wins the biggest trophy there is. How do you not give it to him? But at the same time, what more does Erling Haaland have to do to win a Ballon d'Or?
Win the World Cup, buddy. Because all right,
I
let me say
understand,
this. Let me
but
say this. All right, if Messi doesn't win the World Cup, I don't think he gets top 5 in the Ballon d'Or
no, he
rankings.
doesn't. He doesn't. I don't think he gets nominated.
Because if it's Mbappe that wins the World Cup, I think Mbappe wins it. And that's not hate to Erling Haaland, because
I don't know.
he obviously went fucking amazing
I
in
don't
his
think
first
so.
season in the Prem. But that's basically what they're going off. They're going off the World Cup.
Well, I
And
mean, essentially yes, though. But like I said,
Mbappe essentially would have won them the World Cup. And so therefore, with that logic, wouldn't Mbappe win the Ballon d'Or?
no, because I don't think, like I said, the
Then why
greatest
does Messi
sports,
win it then?
because the greatest sports greatest player who's won everything except the World Cup wins the World Cup as in his final year in European football. Like, how do you not give it to him? That's why I say. But like, I think Messi. I'm glad he won it, but I thought Erling Haaland deserved it more. But like in Erling Haaland's shoes, and Messi said that Haaland should win it next year for sure. You know, but in Erling Haaland's shoes, you're like, what more could I do? Like, what other record? Like, I have to do all that and more again. But I mean, I know it's not like that. Like Luka Modric won it in 2018. Didn't
For
do,
Madrid.
yeah,
Got to
didn't
play
do
for Madrid.
much. I mean, he didn't deserve it, in my opinion.
No.
Everyone says Messi didn't deserve it this year. There's tons of Ballon d'Or recipients that didn't deserve it. You could say Iniesta should have deserved it in 2010, for everything he accomplished and winning the World Cup and scoring the goal. But I mean, there's tons of years you could say the player didn't deserve it. But at the end of the day, I mean, a Ballon d'Or is a Ballon d'Or. Messi has 8. At the end of the day, Erling Haaland has 0. Mbappe has 0. But I do think that Erling Haaland should have one. I think Lewandowski should have one. I just think,
Lewandowski got
man,
raw, buddy. Don't never
I
forget.
think I realistically think, like, how some of these trophies are graded by Ballon d'Or winners themselves. I truly do think that the Ballon d'Or itself should be graded that way. Just because I know it's advised through journalists throughout the world, and you know everyone's biased.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the players that have won the Ballon d'Or themselves should have the highest say.
Yeah, because after this, it's gonna be between pretty much Mbappe and Holland from here on out. You're gonna
But
see maybe
I think
you
Jude's
see
there right
Jude,
now.
maybe Vinny, um, Lewandowski, Gavi,
I'd like
players
to
like that.
note that Kevin De Bruyne has the most Ballon d'Or nominations by any midfielder ever. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, we would. I've noticed that quite more recently, midfielders getting nominated. Um, we had De Bruyne getting nominated. Um, when Chelsea won the Champions League and Italy won the Euros, Jorginho got third place, second and third place.
Mm-hmm.
And not to discredit Jorginho, but I didn't think he was all that great. But he's still, he got a lot of votes because at the end of the day, it's a lot of people that are voting. Sometimes I feel like sometimes they just go based off the club's success.
Yeah, sometimes it is. It's definitely like that. I think with the Premier League clubs or the bigger league clubs, because I mean, like, you don't always see it. Like, to me, Griezmann does get graded on that a lot, and Griezmann's stellar. But I think like if he were in Liga, he wouldn't be maybe on the list or maybe so high on the list. But even though he was dominating, but he's always really, really high on the list. Not to discredit him at all. I think he belongs there. I'm just saying, like, there's probably players out there, I'm sure, that are doing just as good in lower leagues or not top 5 leagues that could be up there. We just don't hear about them because it's not mainstream.
Definitely.
That's all I got for this week, or not this week, the first half of this week. We'll be back on Friday for sure. Follow us Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, all posted in the links below in the description. You can find us on the Spotify homepage. You can find all our links there as well. Thank everybody for listening. We'll be back recording Thursday night for episode Friday morning. What else you got, Chooch?
You have been kicking it with Gavin Cheech. Bobby celebration.
Mbappe.